Jess, that 15-year-old has been identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was reported missing in April of last year, last seen in Lake Elsinore, and we have reached out to the family for more information. But according to TMZ, her body was found in a car registered to the popular singer David.
Pray for his career, chat. Are we done? Are we
We need to delete it.
He used to post about God all the time, this, that. Next thing you know, he signs and he stops. And it's not because of him, but it's because they don't let him. And they put things into these artists' heads, and then they just go weird sometimes when they get real big. So I agree that it was an Illuminati sacrifice.
Celeste Rivas didn't just disappear. Her family says she was sacrificed. And the industry contract David signed might explain why. As you guys probably know, music contracts are already strange, full of hidden clauses and promises that feel almost supernatural. But this one, it's straight up sinister.
Her family thought she was missing. She was declared missing back then. They had no idea there could even be a connection to the body in the Tesla until they got a call from TMZ last week.
And the really weird part is that David was already on a world tour when Celeste's body was discovered. He went from near obscurity to playing sold-out shows all over the world. Well, for a lot of people, this cemented the theory that the poor girl was a victim of a sacrifice for David's career. You ever seen Jennifer's body?
I don't know if we should go through with this. Dirk. Do you want to work at Moosehoof Coffee forever? I don't, okay? Do you want to be a big loser, or do you want to be rich and awesome like that guy from Maroon 5?
Now, of course, the contract David signed doesn't tell the whole story. But in the entertainment industry, these deals are never just business. And here's where things start to get really dark.
Law enforcement sources say the remains were not intact. And according to the medical examiner, it appeared the girl, who is described as having wavy black hair and weighing about 71 pounds, had been dead inside the Tesla for an extended period of time.
All right, first, here's some quick context if you're not familiar with this case. Celeste Rivas from Lake Elsinore, California, went missing on April 5th, 2024. And as you can see from this missing persons flyer, she was just 13 at the time. The Riverside County Sheriff's Office logged a report at the time saying that Celeste had run away before, but always returned. But sadly, this time it ended in a tragedy. On September 8th, a body was discovered in a Tesla at Hollywood Tow after yard employees noticed a foul smell coming from the abandoned car parked on a rooftop. And when Los Angeles police responded, what they found inside the trunk shocked everyone: a bag with remains. Reports say the head and torso were visible, as well as a hand that had a tattoo on her right index finger, the same tattoo that David has. The body was later identified as Celeste Rivas, and the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner said the body had been in that Tesla for a long time. However, because of the state of the remains, they still haven't been able to determine what exactly happened to Celeste. The Tesla she was found in had Texas plates and was registered to David Anthony Burke, better known as David, a 20-year-old rising R&B and indie artist. David dropped his debut album earlier this year and was on tour when Celeste's body was discovered. Since then, David has canceled all remaining US tour stops, as well as a number of European shows. However, he still hasn't made any public statements about the case. So now everyone online is connecting the dots and saying this was more than just a coincidence. David hasn't been charged with anything yet, but his fans and the brands he used to collaborate with, including Crocs and Hollister, are already pulling back. Meanwhile, the internet is losing it over what this all means. So it appears that David and Celeste were in a relationship at the time of her disappearance, which is already disturbing enough, considering her age. But it gets creepier. Screenshots of alleged Discord chats between David and Celeste have surfaced online, and these messages are dated 2022, which means Celeste was 11 at the time. In October 2022, David is seen typing "Celeste in here," and shortly after that, a user under the name Celeste responds, "Hi David, bark." And then another screenshot from March 2024 shows members of David's Discord community openly discussing his relationship with Celeste. So let that sink in. His fans knew he was messing with someone he had no business talking to. Also, in August 2024, about 4 months after Celeste was reported missing, a message surfaced where a user told David to drop the one with the missing girl Celeste Rivas Hernandez, seemingly referring to a song David dedicated to Celeste. A screenshot of Celeste's Discord profile also shows she was active from January 2021 until early 2024, which lines up with the timeline of her disappearance. And then there's the music. Months before Celeste went missing, an unreleased track leaked online with the working title Celeste Demo, and the lyrics are genuinely sick, with lines like, "I want to make you the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed, oh Celeste." Now, if you're wondering where this girl's parents were while she was running around with David, well, Celeste's mom admitted she knew Celeste had a boyfriend named David before she disappeared. And then a teacher came forward claiming Celeste had run off to Hollywood with David before. According to the teacher, who spoke to TMZ, Celeste had run away in early 2024 and made her way to Hollywood to be with David. However, police were able to track her down that time and return her back to her mother in Lake Elsinore. So put all those pieces together with the tattoo, the song, and the body in his car, and it doesn't feel like a coincidence anymore. However, there are still so many unanswered questions here. Why did it take almost a year and a half for her body to show up? Why was it in David's car? Why has he gone completely silent? And is it true that this wasn't just an unaliving but a ritual sacrifice? Well, that's where people are saying the contract and Celeste's death connect. If you follow David's visuals, you've seen it. He leans heavily into dark imagery, upside-down crosses, blood, bandages. It's not exactly subtle, and fans already joked about it before. But after Celeste's body was found, nobody's laughing. And then on Reddit and TikTok, people are pulling old clips and lyrics where he talks about giving everything and a price for eternity. And some are even linking the tattoos to silence oaths, like something you do when you're tied to a ritual. But that's not all. Artist Santi P, who collaborated with David on a song, shared a video on TikTok claiming that David changed after he signed a record deal. According to Santi, David used to be religious, and he talked about God a lot in his music. However, after he signed that contract, he did a 180 and stopped mentioning God. And Santi claims that wasn't a coincidence. It was one of the clauses in the contract.
I knew D4vd before the fame. I agree with this, and the music industry is very weird. I am involved in the music industry, not through me, but through some other things, and I can tell you it's weird. I knew him before that he blew up. We made songs before he was famous. He went to Hollywood, he changed up his whole demeanor, the way that he talked, the way that he dressed, the way that he looked, and then just everything about him just changed. He used to post about God all the time, this, that. Next thing you know, he signs and he stops. And it's not because of him, but it's because they don't let him. And they put things into these artists' heads, and then they just go weird sometimes when they get real big. So I agree that it was an Illuminati sacrifice. And I'm going to show y'all the song that I made with him, so y'all might think I'm capping. I'm not. This is his verse right here. This is me right here. He's gonna come on.
And keep in mind, this isn't the first time we've heard that music industry contracts can ban artists from signing about God. In fact, Kanye previously revealed that these contracts specifically forbid artists from mentioning Jesus.
Literally signing a contract and selling our souls. They got contracts out there that say you can't say Jesus. When we was working on this album, people used to be coming over the studio just to say Jesus as loud as they wanted to. You can say Jesus in your studio.
And that's not all. Kanye later claimed it was a Roc Nation contract that banned artists from singing about Christ. And he said he never understood why mentioning Jesus was a problem, while using the neutral term God was allowed.
There's a part in a Roc Nation contract that says that people are not allowed to sing about Christ. So I'll be wondering, I'll be like, yo, God, why? Why have you swung my sword? Yeah. Why? Because you came in the game with Jesus Waltz.
Now going back to David. So these industry sacrifice rumors always circle around when someone blows up too fast. And David went from a Fortnite kid to a chart-topping artist in under 2 years. And you know that kind of rise doesn't happen without people asking who paid the price. That's why the internet's convinced this isn't just a tragedy, and fans keep saying that Celeste was David's sacrifice. However, not everyone is buying this. Some people don't think David is even that famous for the industry to waste a ritual on him. And plus, if he gets charged in connection to what happened to Celeste, then the alleged sacrifice would have been for nothing. Now on the flip side, even if David isn't a top-tier artist, he still signed a contract, and he still ended up with the body of a missing girl in his car. There's just simply too many coincidences to ignore. And besides that, the industry has a long list of suspicious stories when it comes to these rumored sacrifices. Again, Kanye openly claimed that his mom Donda was sacrificed.
Always be in your heart, and I wanted to wear my Dove shirt just to represent the Donda. And I just want to say my heart goes out to you, and I don't have anything else to say, bro. Just want to give you your flowers and continue doing everything that you're doing. We're on your side, bro.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. You know, just for you guys to understand the humanity. The very first time I was ever given some medication was actually related to an incident with paparazzi in front of the airport, where I wrestled down the same paparazzi that was following me.
But it's not just Kanye. Remember what happened to Jennifer Hudson's family? Her mom, brother, and nephew were all unalived right before she won her Oscar for Dreamgirls. And to this day, people still debate whether that was a coincidence or something else.
I remember it like yesterday.
A grisly discovery was made inside an Illinois home.
I was literally picking up my bags to walk out the door to go to my mother's house.
We're being told by the medical examiner that the victims include an adult woman and an adult man.
And David was going out to train in Florida. And he called me like, can you come out here instead of going? And I was like, okay, sure.
The home where the bodies were found belongs to the family of singer and Academy Award-winning actress Jennifer Hudson. Now,
that one decision, that one thing.
You would have been there.
Do you know what happened? Did she fall?
No, I just got home from work. There's a bullet hole in our front door.
So I would have been home, sleep in the bed with her.
So you think about that? I could have been in that house. And do you think he would have?
And then there's A$AP Rocky. He actually admitted that every time he released a new project, someone close to him lost their life.
I don't know, man. Every time I put out an album, or every time I'm about to release an album, for some reason, you know what I'm saying? I always lose somebody close to me. My pops, it was Jams, it was my sister. Like, I always lose somebody close to me, so, you know, I feel like, you know, some crazy, like, jinx or some shit. Without being superstitious or just paranoid, I just take a toll.
Now, obviously, Davis is not on the level of these artists yet, but the pattern feels the same. David isn't even at his peak yet, and if this sacrifice theory is true, it means the price was already paid before the real fame kicked in. So now everyone's asking, was Celeste just a victim of a messed up relationship that never should have happened? Or was she part of a ritual designed to lock David into the industry machine? Right now, there are no charges and no official answers, just silence. Celeste's funeral is scheduled for October. Her family is begging for answers, and the police are still investigating. But the internet isn't waiting, and more people are starting to believe in the sacrifice theory. So if this is how David's story starts, then what's going to happen when his career really takes off?